Uh, okay. So I think I don't know, just like 7:31. I feel like I should just start already. Is my Sahid? Okay, Sahid is here. So, okay, so okay. Good evening, everyone. Uh, Welcome to another session of the Kaizen's Reading Group review. Right. So I trust that your weeks were nice and wonderful, and your weekends are also splendid. Everything is going fine. Mine was my week was good, and my weekend interesting. So yeah, let me know your own words in the comment section. All right, so back to review. This is another week, and we are reviewing How to Do Everything by Jeff Keller. Last week we had our review by Morenike and Solomon. Well, it was a wonderful session, and personally, I enjoyed it because I felt like Morenike was giving us a lovely review from her experience and the chapter, how they. It was like both of them were in sync. She could relate to it. It was more like a real life experience, and how the chapter influenced her, or how she felt, how the sync between she and the chapter, basically, right? So that was that for last week. And if you're not there, you can get it on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please do that. All right, so this week, my handsome self, Lukman, and my handsome reviewer, Sahid Bashir, who would be reviewing lesson 4, Make a Commitment and You Move Mountains. That's deep, but I guess we'll see how deep it is. So, Bashir, are you ready to have us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Good
Okay,
evening.
so
And yeah, I think
um,
I'll just let you start and let us see this what this chapter says. So please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much, Lukman, for the introduction. I believe that you can hear me clearly, right? Uh, Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So, and thank you for having me. So, I'll be reviewing the lesson 4 of um part 1 of the book Attitude is Everything by Jeff Keller. Um, First of all, to start with, so the author started by, referencing a book that he also read, and he defined commitment as a, willingness to do whatever it takes for you to achieve your goal. So I'm going to use some analogies to sort of explain, my own understanding of commitment. Commitment is, a very big word, so to say, and all around us. I know it's mostly used when it comes to um, when it comes to relationship. People will say, "Oh, he's not committed, she's not committed," and all of that. So I would like to say that for some of us that work in established organizations, every serious organization is expected to have what is called their mission, their vision, and for some of them, they have their core values. You get, so all of these things are commitments at the organizational levels that those companies used to, hold themselves accountable, and they always make sure that their day-to-day dealings is in alignment with, some of those things that they have committed to. And they don't even stop there. For most of them, in every, official meetings and all of that, it is expected that they should remind themselves of this thing. So that is it on the organizational level. So when you go to, trying to instill the spirit of nationalism in people as well, I mean, in Nigeria, if you, go to primary school in Nigeria, secondary school, so every morning on the assembly, after, reciting the national anthem, you take the national pledge. In the national pledge, there are some commitments you are making as an individual to the country. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, and all of that. And you don't just do that once and forget about it. You do it almost every day. On the assembly or wherever platform, your one school is using. So that's also is to instill, the spirit of nationalism in people right from when they are very young, making some sort of commitment to, their country. Then lastly, for my analogy, I'm going to sort of bring the religious, angle to it as well. So, permit me, I'm a Muslim, so I'm going to use the Islamic angle. So if, let's say a new person, you want to join Islam, they will say that, oh, okay, you do Shahada. Like, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah abduhu wa rasuluh. So what it simply means is that you are saying that you bear witness that there's no other God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. So that's sort of like the bedrock of everything that, Islam entails. You bear witness that no other God exists but Allah, then Muhammad is prophet. And you don't stop there as well. So at every point in time, you pray 5 times daily. You must say this thing. In all of those 5 prayers that you do daily, you say it, and every single day you pray, you say it. So what's the point I'm trying to, make is that, at every point in time, everywhere we go, so the commitment is something that, plays out in all aspects of our lives. And as an individual as well, you need to use this thing to your advantage as well. If there's a particular goal or there's a particular thing you are trying to achieve in life, based on my understanding of what the author was trying to explain, make a commitment and you will move a mountain. So if there's something you're trying to achieve in life, where it should all start is from you making something that can be called a commitment in terms of setting a goal or setting a goal or having an objective. Let's say, for instance, I'm Sahid, straight out of secondary school. I told myself, oh, I want to maybe become a banker in the future. So what are the things? Remember the author's, what commitment is. The willingness to do whatever it takes to, achieve your goal. That's what it means for you to, make a commitment. So what are the steps I need to take for me to become a banker? Or, okay, let me go to school, study economics, study accounting, or study whatever will make me, to, become whatever I want to become in life. Let's assume that there are two people. There's one of them who was very clear about what he wants to do in school, and there's another person who just feel, oh, let me just go there. We just move with the flow. So the person that knows what they want to do and is committed to it, so they'll be more clearer in terms of the steps that they want to, take to achieve their objective than the other person that does not really have some, because they said if you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. Because you originally doesn't have anything you are working towards. So everything will sound good, to you. So back to my analogy. So for you to make, to become whatever you want to become, you have to do well in school. So that commitment that you have made to yourself will guide every single steps and action that you'll be taking when you are in school. Let's say, you want to take it a step further, oh, okay, for me to also have a better chance when I graduated, I want to graduate with a first class. So you know that for you to graduate with a first class, you have to ensure that at every semester you are doing well. Like your semester GPA, you must consistently be on a first class. If maybe you missed it 2 semesters in a row, you can already tell yourself that, oh, I'm derailing from, the commitment I have made to myself. And another thing that the author also pointed out in the book is that, there can be commitment without persistence. If you look at the analogies I mentioned earlier in terms of, organizations, when they have meetings or do, official engagement, they try as much as possible to remind themselves of all these things. When you also look at the nationalism part as well, when we're in secondary school and primary school, all these pledges, we say them every single day that we go to school. And in the religion aspects that I mentioned as well, it is done every day. So all these things are not coincidence. They were deliberately put in place. And what this means is that for you to achieve anything that you have committed to achieve or to do, your actions have to be consistent. Like you have to be persistent. You can't just say, oh, some people will say, oh, they set a goal or they will just, that if there is a will, there's a way. Yes, there is a will, there will be a way, but if action doesn't follow that your will, trust me, there won't be any way. So the point the author was trying to make, and that I also understand, is that you have to be persistent for you to achieve whatever you have committed to achieve. Then he also went ahead to say that there's a magic that comes with being consistent. The moment you have told yourself that I want to do this thing, I want to commit to this thing, you just see that things will start happening. You see that universe will start aligning to ensure that you really achieve that thing that you have committed to. Because you also notice that when you have committed to do something, when you have committed to achieve something, that thing will start reflecting in everything you do, in conversations you have with people. It will start coming out, even in your maybe your browsing, things you look for online and all of that. And even in this age of social listening, whereby the algorithm tracks everything you do online, and or you will notice that if maybe there is something that you're trying to do, a problem you're trying to solve. Our very first point of call in this age and time is that we always go online and search for things. So all these, the algorithm gathers all these things, and you will notice that you go on Twitter, you see things around that. You go on different platforms, you see things that you see solutions. You see people having similar conversation to what the problem you are trying to solve. Offline as well, you are with your colleagues, you start seeing, and you'll be wondering that why wasn't I seeing or experiencing this before? So that's the power of commitment. When you commit to something, things will start happening, then doors will open. So you don't. So one thing that we usually fear is that, oh, if I say that I want to do this thing, or I want to become this thing, I don't even know anybody who is already doing it. I don't even know the first step to take. So just, in alignment with what I mentioned earlier, once you commit, doors will open for you, things will happen. So I want to sort of make just chip in something that is sort of personal to me. So where I sort of grew up, a lot of people that sort of created wealth for themselves. I mean, when I said wealth, wealth in their own respect, in terms of comfortable lifestyle. I mean, once you have your own house, you have your car, you can afford to send your kids to school and also to them, I mean, you are already doing well, and that's the path that a lot of people took. And because I grew up in Ogbomoso, so there's sort of limited opportunity for people that, because if you graduate, the where are the companies that will employ you? And if you want to employ yourself as well, like you want to, set up something for yourself, of course, you need to have capital. You need to have, I mean, there are a lot of things around, even if you want to, do something for yourself. So majority of people tend to lean towards doing handiwork, and that sort of limits the things that you can achieve in life based on my own perspective. So a lot of people, I mean, as you are going to school, you're also learning one handwork or the other. So when I was growing up, so I learned barbing, that in case maybe eventually go to school and something did not work out, at least you have something that you're doing. But me personally, then there is one confidence that I mean, I didn't just know it. I knew that this particular line that me have decided to, take, I just knew that it was going to work out for me. So then one day, I mean, around 2016, I mean, I went out with my dad. I mean, I've always loved reading since when I was very young, and he knew. So I went out with my dad and we met one man in one of our outing then. So he was a very young man. So my dad was having conversation with him. So I didn't know what they discussed. I mean, then the man called me. So it was not like, oh, can you come? Your dad said, oh, you love reading. And also the man told me I should go and buy two books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Cash Flow Quadrants. The two books written by Robert Kiyosaki. So, I mean, he told me that when I finish reading the book, I should call him, we should have conversation and all of that. So I can tell you for a fact that I bought those two books that same day. From that day that I read, I mean, I started reading those two books. Of course, they've led to me reading many other books along that line. So something changed. I knew then that, I mean, I have finally, found, I mean, the answers I've always been looking for, because I've always sort of I had a lot of questions then in my head that those two books were able to, help me answer and all of that. So I didn't know the man from anywhere, but because there is something I was committed to, I was always reading, people around me knew, they mentioned it to somebody, the person gave me a solution, and then I implemented the solution. And then at every point in time, at every stages in my life, when I need something, I mean, someone is, sort of always coming through to, giving you solution to that thing and all. So they're already reminding me that time is fast spent, though I have. Okay, so I'll just try and, wrap it up very quickly. Then, in order not to waste our time, in 2 minutes, I'll just sort of, so how do we implement commitment? So according to one other book that I read by Robert Cialdini, the title of the book is Influence. So he said that the more effort you put into a commitment, the likely that you are going to be able to achieve that thing. I mentioned earlier, if you want to, do something, try and write it. Write it down. So if you write something down, writing is one of the strongest ways to get yourself to commit to something. So if you have a goal, you have something you want to achieve, write it down in a very clear term, then go a notch higher. Don't just write it and keep it somewhere. You can also share it with someone that you respect so much, because there's this thing in us that people that believe in us, we don't like to let them down. So if you had committed that you want to do something and you share it with someone that you respect, you will not want to like become like you don't want to sort of disappoint that person, so to say. So I think it's very good. Then I mean, to sort of share it with someone that you respect, that you don't want to let down. So it will enable you to sort of hold yourself accountable to that thing and ensure that that thing eventually comes to fruition. So I'll stop here. In case there are questions or comments, because they are already reminding me that time is fast spent. So thank you very much. I think that's it for me. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for that wonderfully broken down. Yeah, wonderfully broken down with you. It was really nice, and all the how you carried us along, how your meetings and how you decided to be committed to reading and all that, and how it has influenced you, right? So it's really nice. Well, for me, just small quick talk because time has gone, right? So for me, I think the highlight of this particular part for me was the magic of commitment and the story of the lawyer that kept taking the bar exams, right? It just shows you that if you keep doing it, it's going to make sense in the end, right? So you just have to keep doing it. I think that as long as it takes, right? So you just keep doing it, and I guess we'll figure it out, right? So sharing us will be committed and reap reap the fruit of being commitment. So if there are any questions, contributions, additions, I think it's time. So let's start bringing them in. Raise our hands and we would. Okay, Sheriff. I think let's have Sheriff. His hands are up. Sheriff, can you unmute your mic?
Hello, good evening.
Oh, good evening.
Yeah,
so Sheriff, we can like 1 minute.
Yes, quickly, sorry.
We can take other people
that's an awesome presentation. It was so on point. However, I want to ask one question. The question was raised by one of my daughter, and I want you to help me answer the question. I want her to hear it directly from you. And the question is, when the presenter was talking about writing things down, is one of the key ways to actually get committed. She was not asking that, is it a must you must write down? Or put it in your mind?
Okay. So Said, would you attend to that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So to start with, I would say that if you are really serious about anything in this life, you just have to document it. And I'm also going to make reference to the things I used to start this session. As a nation, I said to instill nationalism, there is national pledge. Remember that we have constitutions too. We can as well say people should memorize what is right and wrong in the so that whenever things happen, they can always go and call people that know. But they know that this thing is very important, so they have to document it and name it constitution. Religious aspects too. So there is, there is for Muslims there is Quran, for Christians there is Bible, and virtually every religion of this world have something documented that guides them. So that is to show you the extent of documentation. And also, there's only so much that your brain can retain, because there's a lot going on, you get. So it is very important that if something is very important to you and you want to achieve it, you must document it. Thank you.
All right. I think, Sharif, that answers your question, right? Yeah, I think it does. Actually, it does. Okay, let's have Toyib. Toyib, can you please unmute your mic? All right.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Yes, thank you, Said. You really done justice to the part 4 of the book review. Just to buttress some points that was being raised by Jeff Keller, I think, let me quote what Moses said in the second part of the book. He said, Jeff Keller know how to position his words to align with what we are dealing with on our daily life. The aspect I want to buttress on this part is the challenges aspect, whereby Jeff Keller quotes James J. Corbett that said, "You become a champion by fighting one more round. When things are tough, you fight one more round. When things are tough again, you fight one more round, because this commitment or these goals you are setting for yourself, there's nothing that promise you that it will be bed of roses, or that it will be achievable in the 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years to come. So you just need to be continue persistent. That's where persistence comes in. That's why the Jeff Keller said that persistent action follows commitment. He also said, from another quote person, Mary Coley, he said, one person with a commitment is worth more than 100 people who have only one interest. So this is just what I just have to buttress to the point of Said. You've done justice, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So who else do we have? Okay, Evelyn. I think that you can drop your hand. Evelyn. Well, okay, 1 minute. Then we'll take Lubumi and we're good. All right, Evelyn, your mic is on mute, I guess. So let's have you.
Good evening, everyone. It was a nice book review from the reviewer. But for me, my take home is the word of caution from Jeff Keller. It says that, like the reviewer rightly said, he cited about religion and the constitutions. But regardless of the constitutions, we all have fallen once, at least countless times, and we've picked ourselves back, and we've continued. It says that especially in a world today where resilience is no longer a good character trait, or the trait is fading away. I also want us to understand that regardless how many times we fall, we have to pick ourselves up and continue, so that we can at least attain our goal as concerning our commitment. And also, it states that life will test you to see how serious you are about achieving your objectives. He's not skeptical. He's saying for a certain, for sure, it's part of the process of becoming. So even while we keep our commitments and hope to become, we should have at the back of our mind that in the process, there's always, falling and standing, and then we'll keep fighting till we get to the top. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. That was valid. I like that. Life will test you, because life will actually test you, right? So, I think that was all right. Is anybody? I can't say any hands up again.
Yeah, that's all right. I have just 1 or 2
So I think
points to
that's
add.
All right, let's have you.
Thank you so much, Said.
And
we really appreciate your time and commitment to do this review for us. And thank you to Moradeyo for pulling Said in. Said is a colleague, but we never discussed about Kaizen for once. And I don't know, is this loaded? So Said, don't worry, I'll come and learn. I really appreciate. So the only thing I just want to
But
add, because we are right on point, is the impact of commitment on our windows and creating our picture. So for those of us that were part of us reading the last two review, right? Jeff Keller was emphasizing your window is the way to your success. And then you need to picture yourself, right? And link it to commitment opening the doors for you. So you tend to see more when you are committed. You tend to harvest opportunities more and appreciate everything around you if you're focused on what you want to do. And don't let us forget the definition that Jeff gave us and Said reiterated, which is willingness to do whatever is legally, ethically possible or required to achieve that goal. And I really want to appreciate everyone. So tonight, take out time to create commitment for something. And let's say, oh, today I'm making a commitment to do something, and you start seeing that the magic will come. Thank you so much. Lukman, over to you to wrap up. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Saeed. It was lovely being by your side and being your moderator while you give us all this banger that you dished out for us today. I think without any other thing to do, I'll say good night and thank you all. Okay, wait, before you leave, I'm urging everybody who has not subscribed, liked, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, right? Make a comment from the book, tag us, wherever it is, post on your stories, just let's keep it going, right? Let's bring more people to the community and let people know that, okay, reading is a culture that should be brought back to life and enjoy it in group like this. So thank you very much and God bless. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
all right, good night. Thank you very much, everyone.